Good morning, everybody. I invite all of us to stand now as we prepare for the singing of, or the playing of the national anthem. you. Take your seats, please. As part of your early morning exercise, I'll ask you to stand again as we invite Ms. Sharon Richards from the Youth Department to bring a word of prayer.
Let's just bow our heads and close our eyes. Dear God, our most gracious and eternal Heavenly Father, we come to you as humbly as we know how. Father God, to just give you thanks and to give you praise. We give you praise because we are here on the land of the living God. Some of us are without aches and pains, but God, we give you all the praise. We thank you for this little gathering as we celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee in the planting of trees. God, we ask you to grant favor and mercy upon her. We ask you to bless all that are here, those who had anything to do with the coming together and in making this possible, because we know, God, through you all things are possible. We give you praise once again. We ask you to bless these proceedings. May it be according to your will. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
You can now take your seats. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Richards. We should give God praise and thanks in all that we do, because without him, nothing is possible. Your Excellency, Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, CGMG, CVO, QC, JP, LLD, Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, Mrs. Josephine Huggins, Cabinet Secretary, Ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan, Michael Lin, Mr. Vincent Hodge, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Mr. Francil Morris, Chief Education Officer, members of the Platinum Jubilee Committee, principals, teachers, students of the represented primary and secondary schools, viewers and listeners via the various media platforms, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. Elizabeth II was staying in Kenya with her husband, Prince Philip, when she heard of the death of her father, King George, on February 6, 1952. Without delay, she returned home where she was proclaimed Queen Elizabeth II, aged just 25. Elizabeth's succession to the throne was proclaimed by the Ascension Council. This took place at St. James's Palace and was attended by members of the Privy Council, the Lord Mayor, and the Aldermen of the City of London. 9 months later, Elizabeth II attended her first opening of Parliament on November 4, 1952, where she read and signed the Ascension Declaration. She then made her first speech to Parliament. This year's Ascension Day was celebrated on February 6, 2022. It marked the 70th year, the Platinum Jubilee. Her Majesty has gone on to reign longer than any other British monarch in history and has become a beloved figure the world around. Royal Jubilees are occasions to celebrate the life and reign of a monarch and are significant events that are celebrated around the world. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we pledge to do our small but significant part in honoring Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee. The Ministry of Youth Empowerment deems it an honor and is extremely humbled to be invited by His Excellency to be part of this celebration by entrusting us to undertake a tree planting exercise. This ceremony signals the launch of the Department of Youth 70 trees for the Queen's 70th Jubilee. This involves the planting of 70 trees by a wide cross-section of the community, including government officials, ordinary citizens, school children, and business partners, commencing today, June 2nd, and culminating in November 2022. This morning, His Excellency, the Governor General, and the Honorable Prime Minister will do the symbolic planting of the first 2 trees. Last May, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Charles both planted a sapling in the grounds of Windsor Castle, officially launching one of the biggest efforts to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee. The Queen's Green Canopy, QGC, is a unique UK-wide planting initiative created to mark the Queen's Jubilee celebration by inviting people the world over to plant a tree for the Jubilee. It was Warren Buffett who said, and I quote, "Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago," unquote. It is on that premise that I extend the hand of welcome to everyone here who was invited to witness the planting of these trees that will provide shade for generations to come. He who plants a tree plants hope. Welcome again to all. We'll now invite one of our students, Cassandra Senator, to deliver a poem, All Hail the Queen.
All hail the Queen. Waving flags, awards flying, music blazing. It's a spectacular troop in the colour parade as we celebrate Her Majesty's historic reign. Queen, 70 years of service to the people in all the 70 years of service to the people in all the realms and Commonwealth. Surely St. Kitts and Nevis is here for the revelry as we commemorate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Queen Elizabeth II, the first British monarch to celebrate this historic milestone. 26 years strong and a queen worthy of her throne. All hail the Queen, long live the Queen. I thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra. I see that you're still that very brave soul. And it is important to note that that poem was or is an original composition composed by one of the teachers of the Dean Glassford Primary School, Miss Tisana Kelly Johnson. And she's here, so you can give her a round of applause. We'll now invite His Excellency, the Governor General, to give us some brief remarks on this special occasion.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Prime Minister and other dignitaries, Your Excellency, Ambassador, it is always a pleasure for me to be able to say all protocols observed, because everybody has to enumerate everything, you know, when I'm being addressed. So all protocols observed. I welcome you this morning to today's ceremony. It is indeed a pleasure for me to do so, to welcome you to Government House. As we have heard, this is part of the Diamond Jubilee, not Diamond, Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Her Majesty the Queen. It is useful as a point of history to note that our then leader of government business in 1953, now our first national hero, Right Excellency Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, observed and attended the coronation of Her Majesty. Photographs still exist of him in his resplendent outfit, which today may seem a bit out of character, but was symbolic of the times. It is an outfit that Queen's Counsel used to be required formally to wear. Thankfully, I never had to do that formality. But in England, Queen's Counsel wore your tailcoat, which is the scissors tailcoat, your gold buckled shoes, and your spats, which meant that you had just knee-length breeches. So that I think thankfully today we still have photographs of that epic occasion, because he joined so many other people worldwide in celebrating the Queen's coronation. It is, as has been said by Madam Chairperson, it is today an occasion for celebration. Some of us may have witnessed this morning the Trooping of the Colour, which is the military parade in London, which I had the opportunity to attend some years ago on the occasion of the Queen's 90th birthday at her invitation. It is indeed a splendid occasion, and although not graced by Her Majesty in person, she later saluted and received the salute and acclamation at Buckingham Palace. While we are not going overboard in terms of commemorating this occasion, where persons may say, why do we do this at this stage in our development? It is useful to note that the emphasis being placed this morning is on tree planting. And that is something that is symbolic of our action to promote the efforts of climate change. Climate change has come as a challenge to all of our countries, and one of the aspects of it that can counter climate change is the planting of trees. As you have heard, it is commendable that trees are being planted, and here in St. Kitts and Nevis we are planting 70 trees, which I think is a commendable effort and will include some fruit trees. So the Department of Agriculture, coordinating with the Youth Department, will be selecting the trees and their location. I simply want to say that this morning we are symbolizing it here at Government House. In Nevis at Government House, it has already been done. And Her Honor the Deputy Governor General, Mrs. Hailita Liebert, OBE MH, and the Honorable Premier, Honorable Mark Brantley, planted trees at Government House to symbolize again this tree planting exercise. So welcome one and all. I think I should commend the young lady for her rendition of the poem. It was well executed and quite symbolic. And I thank you all for coming to witness again a symbolic occasion, because it will be planted, the trees will be planted next to the two trees that greet you upon entry at Government House, where you see the yellow pui that are now in bloom here on our left, planted by Her Excellency Dr. Sai, President of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and His Royal Highness, Prince Charles, Prince of Wales. So it's a natural progression in terms of the planting of the trees. And we should watch for their growth and endeavor throughout the island with the 70 trees, the 68 others, to promote their growth and development, so that in time to come, one could say that our time was well spent and that we promoted all of the efforts to counter climate change. May it please you. All the best. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, His Excellency, for giving us that synopsis of the journey to this point and for reminding us of the importance of planting and caring for one of our most sacred resources, our trees. You would have heard the Governor, His Excellency, mention the planting of the 68 other trees. That would be done in different places around the island. It would involve the school children, it will involve the ordinary citizens, and apart from encourage them to plant trees, we intend to keep up with them so that they care for these trees, so that at the same time next year we can say that those trees are planted as part of the symbol for the Platinum Jubilee. We'll now invite the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, to give us some brief remarks as well. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Madam Permanent Secretary and chairpersons of today's historic event. Our esteemed Governor General, Sir S.W. Tapley-Seton, I crave your leave to adopt the protocol so well led before me, and of course to thank you for the opportunity to participate in this event, which is in fact an historic one. We have come today imbued with euphoria and hope, and with unforgettable experiences, enveloped with an unprecedented celebration of Queen Elizabeth II, who at the tender age of 25 received her royal crown on June 2nd, 1953. The annals of history record Her Majesty the Queen as the first British monarch to have experienced a Platinum Jubilee. Many countries today are the recipients of Her Majesty's significant and timely contributions and involvement in their nation's development and growth. Throughout the Queen's reign, she has officially planted more than 1,500 trees all over the world, and today we stand united with other nations in the Commonwealth family to participate in this tree planting, which has become the commencement activity for her Platinum Jubilee. The simple act of planting a tree represents a substantive significance or an ingrained belief that the tree will grow to provide us with numerous environmental, social, and economic benefits needed for our country's survival. One of the well-known Chinese proverbs says, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now." It must have been the Queen's intention for us to become active participants in planting of trees as an inexpensive way of reducing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and releasing oxygen, absorbing pollutant gases and filtering out the particulates, reducing soil erosion due to floods, maintaining the temperature of surrounding areas by breaking up the heat and releasing clean air. It must have been her intention for us to maintain a habitable and clean planet for both human beings and birds and many other animals, as trees open their doors to several species. For us to continue life and to thrive on this planet, we must ensure that we as responsible citizens and residents do whatever is possible to prevent the depletion of plant cover. It must have been her intention for us to remember that trees remain a substantial source of food for humanity and animals, and provide opportunities for children and adults to use their shade for recreational and other purposes. On a hot day, nothing is equal to the shade we receive from a tree with an expansive canopy. These very trees are our natural air conditioners. It must have been her intention for leaders to see the economic benefits of simply planting trees, as this provides many raw materials for several industries, including biotic materials such as wood, fiber, honey, rubber, and many others. It must have been the intention of Her Majesty to remind us of the powerful spiritual lesson that can be derived through the process of planting. Jeremiah compared us to a tree that is planted in fertile soil on the bank of a river, to which it extends its roots and from which it derives abundance of sap and nourishment. In the 17th chapter of Jeremiah, verses 7 and 8, we read, "Blessed is the man that trusted in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit." As we continue in this celebratory moment in honor of our Queen's Platinum Jubilee, let us do so with a spirit of gratitude and pride for her 70 years of service. Climate change remains an existential threat to our country and indeed the entire world. We must act intelligently and rapidly work to save our planet. The ultimate power resides in our hands to ensure that we reverse the possible damages and dangers confronting planet Earth today. The upcoming generation is depending on us. As a leader of this federation, my pledge to you is that pursuing a greener and more sustainable future by protecting and conserving our natural resources for future generations and for the benefit of our twin island nation remains a priority for our government. We remain resolute that we will develop and introduce new models of economic advancement that exist within the planetary boundaries as we face the future with hope and confidence. To Queen Elizabeth II, today we join other nations of the Commonwealth in saluting you for your achievement and your indelible service to the Commonwealth of Nations. I thank you, and may God continue to bless us all.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, for again in reminding us of the importance of planting and conserving trees, all in an effort to make sure our planet stays safe for us and future generations, and for informing us and reminding us of what our country, St. Kitts and Nevis, is doing to ensure that all of that happens. We'll now invite the Angelique Dance Company to grace us with a dance, all in symbol for this morning's celebration.
Spent a lifetime stuck in silence, afraid you'll say something wrong. If no one ever hears it, how we gonna learn your song? So come on, come on, come on, come on. You've got a heart as loud as lion, so why let your voice be tamed? Maybe we're a little different, there's no need to be ashamed. You've got the light to fight the shadow, so stop hiding it away. Come on, come on. I wanna sing, I wanna shout, I wanna scream till the words dry out. So put it in all of the papers, I'm not afraid. They can read all about it, read all about it. Oh, 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 oh. At night we're waking up the neighbors while we sing away the blues, making sure that we're remembered, yeah, 'cause we all matter too. If the truth has been forbidden, then we're breaking all the rules. So come on, come on, come on, come on, let's get the TV and the radio to play our tune again. It's about time we got some airplay of our version of events. There's no need to be afraid, I will sing with you, my friend. Come on, come on. I wanna sing, I wanna shout, I wanna scream till the words dry out. So put it in all of the papers, I'm not afraid. They can read all about it, read all about it. Oh, 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 yeah, we're all wonderful, wonderful people. So when did we all get so fearful? Now we're finally finding our voices. So take a chance, come help me.
Dressed like a plant and pretty like a flower. Thank you, Miss Angelique Dance Company. We are almost there. We're almost at the end of our short but significant ceremony this morning. And before we get to that point, we'll invite the Director of Youth, Mr. Pierre Leiber, to bring some closing remarks.
Your Excellency, Sir S.W. Topley Seaton, with your indulgence, permit me to adopt the protocol so ably established before me. This morning is a very easy task that I have the honor of pursuing. And following the eloquent and informative and encouraging words delivered by the speakers before me, it's very little that I could add to this morning's presentation. However, I do have the honor of acknowledging and expressing thanks to a number of critical and important partners. And I would like to express gratitude to each of them, but first acknowledging and expressing thanks and appreciation to God for life, breath, wisdom, and the opportunity for each of us to gather here this morning and the weeks preceding to prepare and organize this event. Thanks to His Excellency, the Governor General, for engaging with the Department and Ministry of Youth Empowerment and allowing us the opportunity to partner and organize this initiative and the tree planting across St. Kitts for the months to come. Thank you to the Department of Agriculture as well for supporting and offering us and working with us to provide the various trees. Thank you to the Ministry and staff of the Department of Youth for ably putting their efforts, their talents, their energies, their creativity towards ensuring that this initiative going forward is a success. Thanks to the Ministry of Education, various officials, students, teachers, and so forth for so willingly jumping to this opportunity and lending your every support and commitment to the success of this initiative. We thoroughly appreciate you. Thank you to all of the other agencies and departments across St. Kitts who have lent their assistance and committed their support to ensuring that these trees are well planted and taken care of for 70 more years to come and beyond. I want to extend thanks also to the persons who participated in this morning's ceremony. Firstly, Miss Sharon Richards for the invocation this morning. Thanks to Miss Chrysandra Sanichar of the Dean Glassford Primary for delivering such an inspiring poem. Thank you to Ms. Sider for chairing this morning's ceremony and for your welcome remarks. Thanks again to His Excellency, the Governor General, for your words of reflection, information, and encouragement, and to the Honorable Prime Minister for doing the same. And thanks to the Angelique Dance Theatre for such a lovely dance. And I want to add, and in the spirit of all of the proverbs which have been shared, the very inspiring and educational quotes that would have been shared this morning, I just want to add one more, and that is a Greek proverb that says, "A society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade that they know they shall never sit in." And I think that we should reflect on this saying, particularly today, but in everything that we do going forward, and let that guide the actions that we take, and to ensure that generations to come will continue to benefit from our actions today. And the Prime Minister would have pointed out the benefits of the trees, raw material, scrubbing the air, providing clean air. The trees also literally hold our land together, hold the foundation together. And I think it's deeply profound for us to reflect on that quote and the fact that many trees around us, and I could admire the mahogany a couple hundred yards away, that are hundreds of years old. And the idea that each and every one of us could at any point and every day plant a seed or a tree that would continue to reap benefits for generations to come, for hundreds and hundreds of years, and benefit people that you will never know, you will never see, you'll never hear, but it will continue to benefit from your action. I think that is something deeply profound, and we should all grasp at the opportunity to do that. And again, I want to repeat the quote. A society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade that they know they shall never sit in. And it's even greater when they do that hand in hand with young people who could value that experience, grasp the understanding, the importance, the significance of the act, and know that their actions would continue to benefit generations, and they would hold that as part of their spirit, their character, and pass it on to sit hand in hand with younger generations to plant trees to benefit those that follow. I'm honored to be here this morning and to be a part of this, and I thank you all for doing the same. And with that said, I want to thank also two young people who would be joining His Excellency and the Prime Minister in planting the trees this morning. Volunteers Joshua Petty of the Bastille High School, and from the Tucker Clark Primary School, Alethea McCoy. Thank you. So, with that said, I would like to move the program forward and welcome His Excellency, the Governor General, and the Prime Minister, Honorable Timothy Harris, to plant the first 2 trees. And these trees are pui, and they are a pui. Thank you, sir. Pui. I can't say that I hear that often. It's a pui tree. Both are pui trees, and it's a Caribbean and tropical American tree with trumpet-shaped leaves and grow as an ornamental plant, and they're valued for their timber. Okay. I'll now invite the students to join His Excellency and the Prime Minister. Mr. Joshua Petty would be assisting His Excellency in planting the tree, and Miss Alethea McCoy will join the Prime Minister in planting the tree. Okay, so if you wish, you are welcome to quietly join the ceremony, the planting, to witness, actually.
You're listening and watching live coverage of the tree planting ceremony at Government House, part of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebration. I'm Jason Davis, providing commentary for the latter section of this ceremony. We've just heard speeches from the Governor General, His Excellency Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, GCMG, CVO, QCJP, and Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris as well. And they are now moving to the second part of the event, the actual planting of the tree. There are 2 pui trees that will be planted, one in the name of His Excellency, and as you can see on the screen, a student is assisting His Excellency in the actual planting of the tree, the ceremonial removal of the soil and the placing of the soil into the hole where the tree has already been placed. Now, I don't know if you'd call this a sapling, but it's a very young tree. It's about 3 feet tall, and from what I understand, these types of trees can grow to about 30 feet in height. They are decorative flowering trees, and I've been informed that these are pink and white puis. Now, the first tree, the ceremonial soil has been placed in the hole, and now is the unveiling of the plaque next to the first tree. And as we can see, it bears a picture of the Governor General himself, indicating that this is part of the Queen's Green Canopy Initiative. It's a Commonwealth-wide initiative held in celebration of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations for 2022, which marks 70 years of her reign. The Queen's Green Canopy Initiative encourages everyone across the Commonwealth to plant a tree for the Jubilee. It falls under one of her passions, which is sustainability, and of course finding an answer to the effects of climate change. Now we're going to be moving on to the second tree to be planted. As you can see on the screen, many students are here representing the various primary schools, all taking part in this very historic occasion. The second tree has just been placed in the spot, and Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris has taken the shovel in hand, and he is now ceremonially placing the soil into the hole, signifying the planting of the tree itself. He continues placing soil into the hole. Now, as I said before, these are pink and white pui trees, in fact, are identical plants to the ones that were planted in commemoration of the visit of the President of the Republic of China, Taiwan, Dr. Tsai Ing-wen, and the visit of the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall some years ago. As you can see, Dr. Harris is being assisted by a student, and she will now remove the covering of the plaque, which shows a picture of the Prime Minister himself, indicating that this tree is planted in his honor, also as part of the Queen's Green Canopy Initiative, which I said before is a Commonwealth-wide initiative where everyone is encouraged to plant a tree for the Jubilee. Today's ceremony is one of two events today being held to commemorate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. The tree planting ceremony, which is wrapping up, and tonight will be a beacon lighting ceremony where a gas-powered beacon will be lit as part of, again, a Commonwealth-wide initiative to commemorate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, marking 70 years of reign. And as the Governor General said, today's event is, yes, it marks the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, but it is also indicative of the Commonwealth's efforts to combat climate change. The planting of trees benefits the atmosphere, benefits the persons, because trees absorb carbon dioxide and emit oxygen, which of course all living beings need to survive. There we have the Prime Minister posing for photographs with two students. One is that young lady who read a poem earlier in the program, All Hail the Queen. And the Prime Minister will be back here at Government House tonight for the second event, the Beacon Lighting Initiative, as I mentioned earlier. Once again, you're listening to live coverage and watching live coverage of the Tree Planting Initiative launch ceremony at Government House, part of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris is taking time out to take some more photographs with a few more of the students who are here as part of this event. And I'm sure they're going to have this photograph to show their own children and grandchildren in the future, where they posed with the Prime Minister. We're going to be wrapping up coverage in just a bit. Just a reminder that ZIZ will be providing you live coverage of tonight's beacon lighting ceremony. It begins at 9 o'clock. And it will be carried live on ZIZ Radio, TV, and will be streamed live on our website and all of our social media pages. So that's it for today's coverage of the Tree Planting Initiative here at Government House. I'm Jason Davis for ZIZ.